This is the Frugal Gardener. What you are looking at is my rustic garden. This summer is going to be a major change. Welcome back to the Frugal Gardener's Garden. This is my rustic garden that was constructed by my son-in-law. This is approximately 5 feet by 6 feet. Last summer, I used it for the first time. I grew Malabar spinach and corn. Last fall, I grew mustard greens. Now, I've been growing potatoes and sweet potatoes for 5 years now. But this spring, for the first time, I'm going to plant them in ground. So what I did was I threw down these grass clippings. They're between 1 inch and 2 inch. You don't want them any higher than that. And they're going to serve multiple purposes. Number one, I'm using them as a mulch, and this will keep down on the weeds. Number two, they have some nutritional value, not a lot, but I'll take what I can get. And number three is going to be moisture. This will help hold the moisture once I water it or once we get the rain. Now what I'm going to do is cover this with just regular soil from the pots that I used last year. I'm not going to add any nutrients to that at the moment. That's going to go down. And then I'm going to do something that some people might find unusual. This is 100% organic, natural wheat straw from Kansas. A lot of gardeners do not use this when they grow potatoes, but I use it I used it last year for my cucumbers. I'm starting to use it more and more often because it helps retain moisture. It's all natural. It also adds nutrients to your garden. So I'm going to put a layer of this down, and that's not all. I have one more surprise. I'm ordering this for two reasons. One is because of the wind. I've been having serious problems with wind for the last couple of days. I needed to get this video done, so that's reason number one. Number two is generally you add water to the straw before you plant anything because it holds the moisture. So now I'm going to add the potatoes, and I have one or two more steps and I'll be done. So because I have more space this year, I am going to plant a variety of potatoes. This is just your run-of-the-mill, I believe this was an Idaho potato that I cut up, and I'm basically going to just cover this in ash. This is just plain old wood ash, and the reason is to protect it so that it doesn't rot, doesn't go bad after I put this in the soil. So I'm just covering it a little bit. That's all it needs. These are potatoes I got with some sort of a kit, so I'm not even sure what type these are. I mean, I know they're white potatoes, and I'm excited about these. This is the first year that I'm growing these, and these are the Russian banana potatoes. So I'm going to go ahead, get these in the ground, and I'm missing one. I had some potatoes that didn't really do well. They're kind of tiny, so I'm going to replant those also. So the potatoes are in. I planted them roughly 8 inches apart, between 8 and 10 inches apart, and I used the span of my hand, which is about 7 or 8 inches, and everything is now in. Now, basically, most people use the hilling method, and I will probably do a little bit of that, but what I want to do now is finish off by topping these off, covering these with a mixture of compost and just regular soil. So it's about 20% compost mixed with regular soil, and they'll be ready to grow. But I said there was another surprise. What I've decided to do is plant Malabar spinach again this year. The reason is because Malabar spinach is compatible with potatoes, but the leaves are huge. So I'm hoping that the leaves will give enough cover so that the potatoes won't be exposed and I won't have to use that much soil. So let me finish up. Okay, so this is the mixture of compost and just straight up soil. So far, I have not added any nutrients. If you remember the beginning, I told you that I was just using straight up soil from last year, which is going to be a minor problem because of the lack of nutrients. Now, of course, the straw is going to help, the grass clippings are going to help, and the compost will help a lot. But we're talking about 3 months. Before I go any further, in case I didn't mention it, you should have about 4 to 6 inches of soil to cover these potatoes. So now what I'm going to do is add some more soil over top of the entire bed, but this time I'm going to add some nutrients. I'm going to add a cup full of bone meal, a cup full of Epsom salt, and a cup full of blood meal, and that's it. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so I don't want to put too much water on this. Basically, that's the final step, and we're done. So this job is done. The potatoes are planted. Everything is exactly as I hoped it would be. The one last step that I talked to you guys about was the Malabar spinach. Well, some people call it Malabar spinach, and some people call it leafy green spinach. That's this packet right here. And I'm going to wait. It's not a clear shot, but I'm going to wait a couple of days for this to settle. Wait until after it rains and this all gets settled in. And I'll plant that along the left side and the right side. And as I said earlier, those leaves, last year they were probably 7-8 inches across. So I know I won't have a problem in terms of getting them to cover the soil. Other than that, I would have to hill them because the potatoes cannot be in the sunlight. So I don't think I have a problem with this. This is an unusual method. A lot of people probably don't do it this way, but I know it works. I've done it in pots, and now I'm doing it in the garden bed. So that's it for the Frugal Gardener. I hope that if you have questions, you list them below. Please tell your friends and subscribe. And remember what I always tell you: when you grow your own food, You'll always know where it comes from. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.